Okay. This is like a toy. I still enjoy every moment of this. Hi, this is Stephana Johnson, and you're listening and watching Stephana Speaks. And today I'm going to talk about the Meyers Briggs tests because I've discovered something very ingenious. I thought it was quite clever. My coach, I was on a mastermind with my coach this past week, and in the workbook that we were doing, she has us do the Meyers Briggs to take a look at how we can actually use that anagram to help ourselves in our business. And so, of course, whenever I get with my coach, I always pass it on to my clients, and I know I'm definitely going to use Meyers Briggs with my clients because it is fascinating. So I'd never taken it before, and I would not have guessed that. I would not have guessed my answer. However, it completely defines me to a T, and it's so interesting. So if you haven't taken one yourself yet, I highly recommend it. And I think there's lots of free ones online. That's why I just did a Google search and I found Meyers Briggs online, and you can take the test. And then it gives you your information, your little 4-digit code, which I am completely anti being labeled and being coded and all of that. I think, oh, no, I'm not doing that. But this is so fascinating, and I think what Jung was doing was pretty clever, and some of these personality tests are pretty clever and can give you insight into your psyche and your world and help you. And it's certainly helped me in the last week to kind of break through some of the barriers that I have. So, first of all, you would not guess that I'm an introvert, right? Because I'll speak about anything, I'll do anything. I mean, I'm out there. I'm kind of quirky, and I'm talking, and I'm doing things, and people don't think that I would be an introvert. But the truth is, I am an extreme introvert, and I would probably, I don't want to say that I would rather be in my bedroom reading a book than accepting an Academy Award at the Oscars. But it's one of those things, like, I'm kind of a homebody, and I'm very introverted, and exactly how this came out. So it's an INFJ is my 4-digit thing. I'm still new at this. I'm still kind of working through this whole concept, but I wanted to speak about this because I really think that when we understand ourselves better, well, I know when we understand ourselves better, we can break through those barriers when we want to achieve something more. And so I was going through all the designation that I've somehow deemed myself, because I'm taking the test, right? So it's the answers that I'm giving. And it really describes you. It describes how you are. If you're honest when you answer the questions, I think that you will then get to be able to look at it and say, okay, how can I utilize this as a tool to help myself? So I'm going to take the example of the introvert, because I've wanted to be an actor since I was 2 years old. But in my mind, I had this idea that I could just be an actor and I wouldn't have to do all of the requirements of what basically an extrovert would have to do. Get out there and meet people, get out there and audition, get out there and be seen, and all of that. I just want to get my script, immerse myself in the character, and rehearse and then perform. And that's not sometimes exactly what an actor is, but I know that there are actors who are also introverts, so that's a good thing. And I know there are very successful actors who are introverts. Probably Daniel Day-Lewis. I don't know what his Myers-Briggs is, but I think that I could put him as probably an introvert. There's something about being almost cocooned in your own skin, in your own, not skin, but in your own space. without it suffocating you. And so when I looked at and read the whole topic, I'm going to grab it right now and see if I can read a little bit of it. It's so fascinating. The piece around, so it says portrait of an introverted, intuitive, feeling, and judging. And then it gives a backup on it, but it says, so they place great importance on having things orderly and systematic in the outer world. So ultimately this would be kind of true, except when I'm not, which is life is chaos because I have so many different things going on. And then they put a lot of energy into identifying the best system for getting things done. Oh yeah, totally. I'm constantly trying to come up with the best and planning and checklists. Do you do that? Do you have checklists? And checklist person just have to have a list for everything. It's like, look at this. Okay. So I've got checklists that I've made like 5 today. And then I have what I call my control journal that I got from the flylady.net. Have you ever been there? It's amazing. Flylady.net for women who have a home and a life going on. Flylady.net is awesome. She's got a really cool, if you're into freaky control, this is awesome. So where's my control journal? Okay, it's somewhere close by. The control journal, and so it gives me exactly, yeah, I'm in control. I love that kind of stuff. And so the best system for getting things done, always looking for that, constantly define and redefine the priorities in my life. Absolutely. One of my favorite tools that I use with my clients every time I work with a client, and I'm constantly bringing this up, is something that I call the value shield. I'd originally gotten this when I became a simplicity parenting coach, and when I was getting my certification, we went through this really cool design of creating a value shield. If it's close by, I'm going to grab it and show it. And the value shield, no, there it is. Okay, so the value shield, I don't have my screen up, so I don't know if I'm actually showing this now. Here we go. This is something I created years ago, actually when my little guy was 2, so 6 years now. And it's a crest, and now I take all my clients through this. And I do it with their boundaries, and I do it with their personal life, for their business, so that you can really live by your values instead of living by someone else's ideas or, you know, past ideas or things that are just not working. And we just create the quadrants, you know. Okay, so here's the quadrants, right? It's just like a shield or your banner that you wear, your banner, your shield. And look at that. The breastplate or the family crest. So this one is for our family. Kindness, and these are still the key ones. Kindness, compassion, creativity, being competent, being trustworthy. And every single day I'm looking at, are my actions kind with my family? Am I being compassionate? Okay, with my sons anyway, maybe not so much with, anyway, too much personal information, right? Yes, so let's go back to what I was doing. Focus here on, this is so cool. So on the other hand, INFJs operate within themselves on an intuitive basis, which is entirely spontaneous. Yeah, this is completely who I am. Internally, completely spontaneous, completely, but internally, I'm just constant, you know, I have to check in with myself and have that. If it doesn't feel right, and then I'll second guess and I'll check, and so it's just, so they know things intuitively without being able to pinpoint why. Totally, and this frustrates a lot of people because it's like, you know, when you just know. You don't know how to explain it. You don't have facts to explain it or spreadsheets. You just know. And so then it's really funny how this goes on. They don't, okay, so they don't, and without detailed knowledge of the subject at hand. Okay, so that's true as well. They're usually right, and they usually know it. Consequently, INFJs put a tremendous amount of faith into their instincts and intuitions. Yes, of course. This is something of a conflict between the inner and outer worlds and may result in the INFJ not being as organized as other judging types tend to be. or we may see some signs of disarray in an otherwise orderly tendency, such as consistently messy desk. Okay, yeah, that's true. It's just so funny and fascinating, you know, when you see somebody kind of mirror your life, you're like, oh yeah, you know, when you get if you've ever had a hand reading or a Akashic reading, which I love working with my clients on and doing Akashic readings. Akashic readings are not divination or telling you that, so that's a little bit different. But if I do my clients' hands, and because I've been working through and studying about hand analysis for some time, I can go and and you're this, and they go, oh, how'd you know that? Well, it's right here in your hand. So this is kind of like the Meyers Briggs of hand analysis. So it's just another wonderful tool to use. I've used a couple of my other coaches' tools where she gives you your branding archetype and your money archetype, and those are wonderful as well. But again, I get into this I don't want to be judged and stuck in this pocket, and this is who I am, and you're a type this, and you're a type that, because I feel that everyone is pliable, everyone is movable, and everyone can shift their desires and their projection and what they create based on what they choose. An example would be, so before I had children, I had a complete philosophy of a dogma that I lived by and a philosophy that I lived by. And then my sons were born, and with regards to things that occurred as a result of truly miraculous, I mean, my experience of getting pregnant, being pregnant, having my children are miracles. And then it just takes away all of this idea about what we think life is, when you see and you feel life in you, and you have communication telepathically, that some people are like, oh, that's not real, that's crazy. It's like, no, it's pretty real. And other things that are just like, no, it's just miracles well, it's miracles. And then we look at how we kind of have judged, well, you're born this way, and you know, there's this whole philosophy that you're born a sinner. It's like, what? That is totally wrong. What are you talking about? How can that possibly? Why would you even think that? But there's this whole push or movement, or you know, and I hate to say religion, but you know, there's that religious movement. It's like, well, you're born a sinner, and everyone's a sinner. And it's like, what the? No, that's not true. Everyone has a choice, no matter what. And in any given moment they do, no matter what their past is, they can choose better when they know better. And we all have the opportunity to know better, and to know ourselves better will bring us to the place where we can do better. And when we know ourselves better, and because I work with coaches and consultants as my main clients, and women coaches and consultants, to know ourselves, when we fully know ourselves, and we can know what we want to do and what we're going to create, and we have the tools like this value shield that we can use to create strategy and boundaries in our life, as personal life as well as our business life, and we have those guiding framework, and then we can take our message and our purpose and we can live that, and ultimately really streamline what it is we're here to do, rather than, and speak our truth and speak from that place and communicate our message so confidently and clearly that it's heard by our ideal clients and by our audience that we want them to hear, and then they want our help, and then we give it to them. And that's perfection to me. That's what's beautiful about these tools that we can do and use. And rather than us having a stuck or fixed judgment on, well, you know, this person was born this way, and because he's a Virgo, this is what he's going to do. Well, you might, yeah, that could be, but he could also have this much, because we all have potential. We all have great potential. And while I love this Meyers Briggs, I also have to take everything with a grain of salt. So now I'm going to use this as a tool to look at, oh, where could I improve? And things that are coming easy for me, let me continue to do that. But things that are a little bit tough for me, I'll work through. So coming back to the introverted part. So I said in the beginning, I wanted to be an actress since I was 2. Auditions, I literally stopped acting and dropped out of the business because I couldn't take the auditions anymore. I couldn't take, it was so disheartening. But I knew that you had to go on, and this is what I did with my actors in business when we were in our business group. We knew that we had to go on a certain amount of auditions to get to the yes. So we had to go on a certain amount of auditions and get those no's to get to the yes, to get to the right part. And because the competition in acting can be so high, and in Los Angeles, exorbitant, super duper high, I had to go on. Like we had a chart with 100 no, or like 99 no's and the 1 yes. And so we made it a game that we would be checking off the no's. And sometimes it would be 10 auditions and we got 1, or sometimes it would be 4, sometimes it would be 50. Just depends how things were going. But it was a tool that we could use to get ourselves into more of a game mode and have fun with it instead of having loss. And then another fun tool that my partners, my acting friends in our class did was we would say, okay, so we were allowed to have a full 90-second sad fest, feel sorry for ourselves, poor me, if the audition didn't go well. And then we had to let it go. Now, you know how hard that is for an actor, because, or anyone, right? Because it's frustrating. But when you get into practicing that, it's a great tool to have. It's a great tool with any concept where, I mean, if it's not a matter of life or death, in 90 seconds, if you fully feel it's like, oh, shoot, I really messed that audition up, or, oh, that was terrible, or I was still not right, oh, did you see that? Oh, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not fat enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not short enough, I'm not young enough, drama. And so you get into the whole drama and see that you don't have to have that. You don't have to keep in with that drama. And so those were great tools that helped me, being the introverted person that I naturally was. I just wanted to stay in my apartment where it was warm. It was in New York City. I was like, I'm not going out in the snow. I'm just going to go. But you know what? If I didn't get out, no one would know that I existed. And so I knew I had to overcome that and step out there and stop hiding out. Stop hiding out behind my answering machine, and we have to stop hiding out behind our computer and stop hiding out being reluctant to go see those people and call on those clients or call on those people that have shown interest. They've shown interest. Why wouldn't we want to call them? Why wouldn't we want to follow up with them? Why wouldn't we want to offer them a complimentary strategy session or something? Those are all the things that we can do that do not require us to do something so drastic. It's not life or death. It's coming from a place of that service and that authentic voice speaking up. And I love that. I love that we can do that and we can overcome that. And I wanted to share this with you because, a lot of the people I speak to in the audiences, they think, oh, well, yeah, Stephana, you're an actress. You know all that stuff. You know how to be on the camera, and you can talk to anybody. I do, because I've practiced and because I have worked really hard to step out of my comfort zone. And I have to do that every single day. Believe me, at 8:29, I didn't want to do this. Say, oh, well, I can just let it go. And when I do my radio podcast and I'm scheduled at 4:30 every morning, I'm going to do that. Do you know how many mornings I get up and say, well, maybe I'll just sleep in because no one's really listening to me anyway. No one wants to hear what I have to say, and who cares? And I don't have anything important to say, and blah, 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 blah. What? That could totally stop me. You could let those voices stop you. You could let them stop you from starring in your own life, from stepping into your place. where you are on center stage of your life and your business and taking that to the next level. And what would that mean for you? What would it mean for you if you were to step on center stage of your life and in your business? Would that mean more clients? Would that mean a better home? Would that mean a better car, not driving around a clunker? Would it mean being able to get help in your house and picking up things? Yeah. What would it mean to you? And what's it costing you not to step up and step out? So what I want to say about this is that as a coach and a communication coach and someone who specializes in helping you break free from those blocks that stop you from stepping out and stepping up and speaking up about your message so that you're heard, so that you're seen, so that people know who you are, and that those people who could be dying literally to get your service, but they don't know about it because you haven't spoken up. But they could be helped if you do speak up. What's it costing you in terms of money, in terms of your success, in terms of what's happening in your life? It's a good assessment to take a look at for yourself and find out what is it that is it costing you. Because I'd like to invite you to a free webinar I have coming up in June. It's in July, just in a few weeks. If you go to stephanajohnson.com, you can always get the information. But I also want to invite you to get on a complimentary call with me, and we can look at where you are having the most difficulty. What's your biggest block? We can uncover those stumbling blocks, and we can actually turn those into stepping stones. One of them is the Meyers Briggs. I highly recommend that now. I think it's a great tool, and you can look at the Meyers Briggs as something to utilize to discover where your strengths are and where your stumbling blocks might be, and then turn those into your stepping stones. I really love that, and I want to help you get on your center stage, not only of your business, but of your life as well. When you transform your life and you step on that center stage of your life, your business is going to blossom. And when you do that with your business, your life is going to blossom. They're connected. Your voice, your message, you are connected from your truth when you step into that place of your authentic voice and you deliver what you're here to deliver from your place of purpose, from your authentic place of your mission. I believe in all of those, and I believe that you can know them and that you can act from that place of your truth. All you need to do is know that and know where your spotlight is. And we're going to shine the spotlight on you. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be out there as a rock star trying to jam out with your bass. That's not what this is about. It's about you taking center stage of your life, you stepping into your spotlight so that your message, whether you are a holistic health coach, or whether you are a parenting coach, or whether you are a consultant helping, it's not about getting you to be out there in the spotlight literally. It's more figuratively, and I'm using that because of my very long background. I had to say 30 years in acting now, 33 years when I got my first professional job. And now I realize that I have so much that I can offer to my clients in this way, and I'm excited to be able to do that now. And because of the understanding that I have, and the understanding that I achieve and expand on every single day. That's what's so exciting. Because every time I help someone, I'm helping myself. Isn't that the truth? Every time you help someone, you're helping yourself. Isn't that cool? All right, so it's about time, and I'm going to wrap this up. Let's see where we are. Gratuitous posting of my website is right there, stephanajohnson.com. And I am speaking to you about stepping into and getting onto your own stage your space, being in your spotlight, and speaking and communicating your message from a place of your truth. Because just like if somebody doesn't bring, I heard this from another coach, Callan Rush. She said something about a smorgasbord. She wanted to go and be a yoga instructor, and she was telling her guru about this, and he said, and she was really confused about it. And then he said, you know, if there's a smorgasbord, imagine you're at a smorgasbord, right? It's a buffet or a potluck. And if you don't bring your dish to the table, okay, so your dish is your gift, your purpose, your gifts that only you have. And it's true, only you have your gift. Then someone else is going to go hungry. And I think that is a really good analogy for us stepping into spotlight, stepping on center stage of our life so that someone can hear the message we have to deliver. And as a result, we impact them, and we impact the world. That's all I have for now. Peace and blessings. There's my client.